think like 100 bob or 150, like that cheap. At 8 in the morning. I'm like, oh, I think this is the time someone proposes. Oh, and guess what? That was it. He never proposed. Like, I don't know, the ring kneeling down, or so he was like, okay. How can you be there without money? And why do you have this small phone? Hi guys, how are you doing? Welcome to my channel. How is everyone doing? How is your weekend? Some of us are still in their house. Yes, on a weekend. Can you imagine? I miss those days where weekend would come and I feel like I'm on top of the world. Like I want to move or around Kigali and anyway. I miss home. I miss my odd weekends, but I'm a mother now and a wife, so I have to behave. So today I'm back and I want us to talk about something that is so serious, so sensitive, and something that people are scared to talk about, to admit, and even to look for help. Yes. So today's topic is about depression and anxiety. When you think about depression and anxiety, what comes into your mind? I'll be honest with you. I didn't know. Okay, I knew about depression, but I didn't know about anxiety. And it's something that I got to know about it when it happened to me. Yes, I experienced anxiety. So let me tell you my story. Maybe someone out there who is dealing with anxiety will pick something, because I feel like depression and anxiety, they're almost the same, but they're not the same. So I believe someone will pick something, because when I was going through it, I thought there was something wrong with me, like I was going mad. I'm sure there are so many people out there who are feeling the same. And I always say, when you have a problem, get that one person you feel that will not judge you and talk about your problem. It's really good and it helps a lot. So I'll summarize the story, how it started, so that we can get on the right topic, on the right points. So something happened back, like a few years back. Something happened, someone close to me got really sick, and that person went to the hospital. It was so scary for me. I was the only person around and I didn't know what to do. I was so confused. I was so scared. So basically, I didn't share what I was going through, yet I was going through a lot of trauma. And I pretended, or I tried to be so strong for this person. You know, I didn't want them to see my weaknesses. I didn't want them to think I'm not strong. So I decided to put this strong face, but deep down I was dying, like dying. So that entire process took like almost a whole year plus. And that whole year plus, I was struggling, like struggling alone, without sharing to anyone, without telling anyone what was happening to me. So time came. I remember from nowhere, I lost sleep. I remember the first time it happened, I spent 3 continuous days without sleeping, without dozing, without nothing. Like I would just, like at night, people would go to sleep and I stay in the sitting room watching movies until morning. I would try to close my eyes, force myself to sleep, but I could not. And whenever like I tried to sleep, I could feel like my heart, like someone scared me. And I would be like that the entire night. So those 3 days I decided, okay, instead of being in that situation, let me not sleep at all, because now I cannot manage to sleep. So the girl is disturbing. So I tried to sleep. I tried everything. I could go on Google and ask how I can sleep. Like Remember, I'm not sleeping. I don't know what is happening to me. I just can't find sleep. So my husband was so concerned. Why are you not sleeping? Are you stressed? Da, da, da. I'm like, I really don't know what is happening to me, but I can't find sleep. So after those 3 days, I decided to go to the hospital because I thought I had a problem. And the way it was happening, I thought I had a problem with my heart. So I went to the hospital. I remember going to Nairobi hospital. Oh, this girl. So I went to the hospital, to Nairobi hospital. So I told the doctor, now, this is what is happening to me. From nowhere, I just lost sleep. Like, even if I want to sleep, how, even if I drink, how, even if I do, like, I tried everything. There's a time I remember I took like shots of Marura, hoping that it will help me, to knock me down. It didn't work. So I tried everything in my power to sleep, and I could not sleep. So I explained everything to the doctor, and the doctor was like, okay, you know what? Let's take a test. So they did a test. They did a test of my heart. They did blood test. Everything came back negative. And the doctor was like, okay, you know what? You're totally fine. According to the results, you're totally fine. But the way you're explaining your situation, I feel it's not your body, it's your mental health. Have you tried talking to someone? And I'm like, no. And then the doctor was like, okay, do you have something that recently happened, stressed you, traumatized you, blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, okay, there's this thing that happened a year, 1 year and a half ago, but I've never moved on. I keep on like thinking about about it, and I'm like, I'm always scared. Like, everything in my mind comes in a negative way. So that's, I would say that's the only thing that really, really scared me. And the doctor was like, okay, now let me advise you. You need to see a therapist. You need to see a therapist and explain yourself, talk to this person, you see how it goes. So I was like, a therapist. So I came back, told my husband, the doctor is saying I'm okay, I need to go see a therapist, this is a mental thing. So my husband is like, so what is stressing you? I'm telling you, I would not tell anyone what was stressing me. I would not. So I decided to go give it a try. But before I went there, I was like, a therapist. Now, us Africans, like especially people like us who grew up in Africa, a therapist, like, you don't go to someone you don't know and start telling them your stories. That's not how I do things. And that's not how, like, how I'm used to do things. So I was like, but that's a behavior, that's a culture for white people. That is not our thing. But then I was like, but I need to try everything because I can't be there without sleeping. So I went. Let me summarize this story. So I went to the therapist and I sat down. I opened up like a book, and I told this lady, and she was like, Joyce, you're traumatized and you're experiencing what they call anxiety, and you need medication. That's the only way. With time, maybe we can drop the medication, but right now, if you want to sleep, if you want to take a step to learning how to manage this thing, you need to start medication. So I was like, okay, because I was so desperate to sleep, I was so desperate to feel better. I accepted to take the medication. So she gave me a lot of medications, like 4 types of medicines. And I came home. The first day I took medicine, of course, those medicine included some for sleeping. So, of course, I started sleeping. And I would take this medicine and I feel like, I'm back to normal. Like, I have no problems. I have no worries. I'm not scared of anything. So, the medicine, basically, it was working. It was helping. But then I realized, like, okay, after like 2 weeks, I stopped the medicine and I went back to the situation. Because I kept on like testing, like, is it really anxiety that I can't control? Is it something I can't control? I need to control this. I'm too young to be suffering from anxiety. I'm not like a a very rich person who is under stress, to like businesses are falling apart. Da, 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 da. Like, no, I am a normal person. I need to survive without medicine. So I decided to go back on medicine, on and off, trying to manage, but I couldn't because I didn't know exactly what I'm dealing with. Like, yes, though I was told it was anxiety, but I didn't know what triggers anxiety. How am I supposed to deal with it? Like, I didn't know all of that. I was trying to discover myself with the situation. So I I decided to take medicine. I took medicine for like 3 months, non-stop. And then after, I was like, okay, I need to find a solution. I need to find a way. So I decided to look for a solution within me. Without medicine, how can I survive? So I remember the doctor told me that, first of all, for you to deal with anxiety, you need to know what triggers anxiety. The moment you know what triggers it, you're able to control, you're able to avoid anything that will trigger that anxiety. So I realized, okay, since that incident that happened to someone close to me, I'm scared of death. I'm scared of anything that will hurt someone. I'm scared of, like, I'm always thinking of the worst. I'm always thinking of the negative things only. Like, I'm telling you, negative things only. Someone will tell me that, oh, I have flu, and I'm like, oh, that one is going to die. And that's it. That's the only thing I'll think of. Someone tells me, oh, I fell down. Oh, that one is going to die. Like, I was in that situation where I didn't have any positive thing within me. I was always in negative situation, negative moods only when it comes to my thoughts. So I decided to drop the medicine after a few months. Like, that was now around like 4 or 5 months. I decided to stop the medication and I started fighting because now I discovered, I knew what was triggering anxiety. So I would control what I put in my mind. If I see that, this thing is going to scare me or it's going to make me think of the negative things, I avoid. I reached a point where I could not even watch romantic movies. I would watch only, like, action movies, like movies that are too emotional. I would not go for burial. I would not go even to see someone in the hospital. Like, I was trying to avoid anything that I know will scare me, that will make me overthink. Now that was my first step of trying to help myself. So with time, I learned to manage my anxiety. And time came when, like, I can survive without medicine. But again, I was so delicate that, you just, and I go back to the mode of, being scared. So I was like a baby, whereby you cannot shout at me, you cannot, like, and now you cannot live that, like that in this world. Like, the world is so messed up. You cannot keep yourself away from bad things. You can be safe, but someone else will get a problem, and maybe that person is close to you, maybe a family member, you get to know about it. Of course, you cannot avoid such things. But again, I was trying my best. I remember I learned to talk about it, and I was telling, because now I used to, when I was still taking medicine, people would ask me, are you sick? Why are you taking medicine? And I'm like, no, I get anxiety, so I'm on medication. So when I started talking about it, now this is the weird part, and this is how people make a mistake about it. So when I started talking about it, openly telling people, oh, I'm taking medicine because I have anxiety, they were like, huh? So people started treating me like I'm a mad person, like someone who takes medicine for anxiety. You're mentally ill. You're supposed to be in a mental health hospital. Like, people would give me that bad reaction with a lot of judgment. And then I remember there's this one friend of mine who was like, Joyce, you need to stop telling people why you're taking that medicine. And I'm like, why? And I'm like, people are not taking it the way you're saying it. And I'm like, but that's the truth. Like, yes, I know you're saying it with a good heart, but people are not taking it the way you're saying it. And I'm like, no. Let's be serious. Anxiety is real. It's like someone who has malaria or someone who has any other disease. So why would I be ashamed to talk about it? So this person was discouraging me. And then I realized, no, the more I talk about it, the more it becomes normal, and the more I realize that, I can fight back. So I remember I started noticing people at work, my work, and then I realized actually people are so depressed there, and others have even anxiety, but they don't even know. Someone tells me I don't sleep. Like I go out and drink in the morning, I come sleep for an hour and come back. Others are like they find, like so many people have stories, but because they've not got a chance to go to an expert to tell them what they are suffering from, they consider it to be a normal thing. You find someone is surviving on drinking a lot to spend a night, and then the next day they're okay. They move on like that, like that. You find like in a week, they've slept like twice. Other days, they're just surviving. And sometimes when you sit down and talk to them, you find they are more healed than you. Like they're very, very sick than you. They're sicker than you. And yet, they are laughing at you that you're taking medicine for anxiety. So I kept on talking about it because I felt like my experience will help someone else. If someone else is going through the same thing, but they are scared because they are scared of people judging them, if I openly talk about it, people will find it normal. They will start sharing about it. So one time I remember we went for a family gathering in Uganda with my family here. We went to Uganda, and I met one of my niece there, and we were talking, and I'm like, me, I have anxiety, so I'm taking medicine. She was like, me too. Me too. I have anxiety. Let me tell you, I've never felt so good knowing that there's someone else out there who is going through what I'm going through, and they are okay to talk about it. And, it made me feel like, okay, I'm not a mad person. This is a common disease. It's just people are taking it differently. People are hiding it. People are so ashamed to come out and say and talk about it. So I'm telling you, I felt so good. I realized, I asked her, so what triggers your anxiety? And she told me openly. I told her, I was like, okay, first of all, when you see someone walking behind the doors, those people are going through a lot. Yes. Sometimes you're lucky to know, sometimes you're not. But the point is, we should not feel ashamed to talk about something that is so normal, but because we are scared of being judged by other people, and yet even those people are also going through the same thing. It's just maybe they don't know yet, or they don't want to put themselves in a spotlight. But again, there are so many people who even die because of depression, because of anxiety. And what kills people is the fact that they don't want to accept that they have it. They don't want to accept that they are depressed. They don't want to accept that they have anxiety. They don't want to accept that they need help. I know people who are going through depression and they fail to come out and say, you know what, I need help. They are trying to deal with it. You see, there are also other people who have, is it insomnia? Insomnia and anxiety, it's almost the same thing. The difference is this one is more of sleeping. But what makes you not sleep? It's your mind. And your mind is, working day and night. So it reaches a point and it cannot, rest. So that is insomnia. Insomnia is close to anxiety. It's close to depression. And people don't want to accept. So today I've decided to come and talk about this. Do you know, in Africa, I remember I told my sister about it and she was like, Kitty, those are diseases for rich people. To be honest, I was so disappointed and I got so hurt. I love my sister so much. But again, I don't blame her because before I went through it, I didn't know it was there. So even her, she has never experienced it. She doesn't know that it's there. So when you come from nowhere and tell her anxiety, what does it even mean? So that's the whole thing. In Africa, we don't know those diseases. Okay, for those people who have traveled, yes, they know. For those who have not traveled, we don't know those things. We don't understand what it means. We don't know that, you can be mentally sick. People think being mentally sick is being a crazy person on the street walking naked, da da da. No, there are so many types of mental health. And people in Africa don't want to accept. They don't want to accept that it's a disease that can kill. It's a real disease. Just the way people can be sick of what? Think of any disease. It's the same disease. There's medication for it. And when you're so young and you're ready to fight back, you can always fight back. I'm telling you, I'm almost getting to 3 years without medication because I've learned to know what triggers it, and I try my best to control it. I cannot celebrate now that, I've won the battle, but at least I can talk about it so that someone who is out there and they're going through the same thing can know that, this is a normal disease. You just need to understand what triggers it, and you start controlling what you put in your mind. What you put in your mind, you try to be positive about life, you try to be positive about, anything. Because the moment you know that, this is a disease, but I know it's a disease, so I can fight back. It's better than someone who is in denial. They don't want to accept, they don't know what is killing them, and they are just there. Because if you can't fight naturally, it means you get support with the medicine. The only problem with the medicine, once you get addicted, you can take it for the rest of your life. That's one thing that I was fighting so much, because I don't want to be that person. At my age, I'm taking a lifetime medicine. There are some diseases whereby you have no choice. But this time around, I was like, I still have a choice. I have a choice to fight back. So if I have a choice, I have to use it. I have to make sure I'm in charge. So that's what I did. So people out there, you're dealing with depression, you're dealing with anxiety. First of all, no, you're not alone. This is a common disease. It's just some people are so in denial and they don't accept that, they are struggling. They don't accept what they are suffering from. They feel like, being depressed, suffering from anxiety, it's a mental, like you're a mad person naked on the street, which is not right. It's like, take it like you're so stressed, like super stressed. That's anxiety, that's depression. Super stressed. And you're living that super stressed life every day. So it becomes too much for your body to handle, for your mind to handle. And when the mind is disturbed, the entire body will follow. Like, you will not have peace. So anxiety is real. Depression is real. How you handle it is what matters. Talking about it helps so much. I remember this one time I went, the last time I went to Rwanda, that was like 2022. Yeah, no, not the last time. The second last time I went to Rwanda, 2022, I think. I remember the day before coming back to Kenya, I started feeling the anxiety. Now, this anxiety, it brings so many things. Like, before, I used to enjoy flying. I would, take pictures, slay, single girls. When the anxiety kicked in, I would fear flying. I would fear going for road trips. Like, I'm telling you, you fear everything. You even fear an insect. It's that bad. So this time around, I went to Rwanda. The day before coming back, from nowhere, I think because I was thinking about it, I'm going to go back to Rwanda. I'm going to leave my family here. I miss being home. Like, I thought about that, entire story of going back and leave everyone behind. I'm going to see them after maybe another 1 year. So it kicked in. I started panicking. that night I didn't sleep at all. So I remember telling my brother and my sister-in-law about it, and they were like, no, you can manage this. Come on. Now what is stressing you? And I'm like, I don't know. I think I'm just scared that, I'm going to go again. Da, da, da. So I remember them trying to calm me down, and it was not working. I remember that now hours before we went to the airport, and that time I was with my daughter, and we had traveled just the two of us. So I remember we were going to the airport, and I was sweating. I was sweating. I was breathing heavily. And then I told my brother, because my brother was dropping us to the airport, I was like, I can't go to the airport without medication. I need medication. If I don't get medication, I think I'll even die from the airplane. I need medicine before you drop me to the airport. I remember we moved around the city looking for anxiety medication. And finally, we go to a pharmacy. I told the pharmacist, like, I'm traveling in the next 2 hours. Actually, I'm heading to the airport right now, but I'm dying of anxiety. I didn't come with my medication. This is my medicine, because I chatted my therapist, and she had sent me the medicine names. And then I was like, this is the medicine, kindly help me. And then the guy was like, okay, I don't have this exactly, but I can give you something that will cool you down. And I'm like, please, how many do you want? I told him, give me 2. So he gave me 2 tablets. I went. And the funny thing about it, the moment I got the tablets, I cooled down. I stopped sweating. I stopped breathing heavily. I stopped, basically, I went back to normal, because I know I have the medicine, and I know the medicine will cool me down. Like, that alone helped me. So we reached at the airport. We went through, close to checking in. I decided to take the medicine, 1 tablet. Now this one, it had the side effects. It would make you like a bit drunk and sleepy. Remember, I have a baby with me. But hey, I was so strong. I would feel like I'm so drunk, but I had to be strong because I had a baby with me, and of course I was at the airport. But after a few minutes of taking it, and with that side effect, my mind was so calm. I remember flying peacefully, and I remember like not thinking about anything negative. And of course, you try your best to distract yourself with something so that you don't notice something and think about it. But finally, we got home, that is in Nairobi, safely. And my husband, of course, he knew, and he would not understand what causes the anxiety. I remember we even had to, the following day, we had to go back to my therapist. He was like, okay, I need to understand what is happening with my wife. So the lady had to explain everything, and he was like, okay. Even him is someone who has traveled so much. But even him, he didn't know that, anxiety can be that bad. He didn't know that someone can be there with, scary things in her or his head. Like, he didn't know that someone can just be traumatized, and it spoils the rest of, her life. So my husband got to know about it, like, deeply about it. And then he started supporting me. At first he thought like, now anxiety. The moment the therapist, took him through the entire thing, he was like, okay, now this thing is real. So the thing is, please don't be ashamed to talk about it. Don't be ashamed to look for help. Don't be ashamed to tell people what you're going through. When you have the right people, they'll always support you. They'll understand what you're going through and support you. And it will make you feel better. You learn on the journey how to manage it if you're so determined. If you just, like, you've given up on life, and you want to survive on medicine as the easiest way, it's still okay, because we are all different. We are all different, and life kicks us in different ways. So, but the point is, there are so many people suffering. They are. And most of them are dragging themselves into drugs and drinking a lot as a solution. But that is never a solution. That there you end up being addicted. Why do you think people like get addicted with drugs? Same reason, because they think like, okay, I can't sleep, but when I take drugs, they will knock me down, and that's it. That's the whole thing. They are handling it that way. But when you go through the right channels, imagine you can overcome. I'm almost 3 years without medication, without any trigger anymore. I'm managing what I put in my mind. I can decide, when I know that something is going to, that story will scare me, I don't listen to it. I tell you, please don't. I know I get anxiety. If you tell me that story, I'll not sleep. Please don't tell me the story. So that is how I'm handling it. And you out there, if you're going through the same, you're not alone. We are here, we are surviving, and we've managed to control. You can still do it. You can fight back. Don't drag yourself in drugs and drinking a lot to knock you down to sleep at night. That can work, but hey, for how long are you going to do that? Drinking is not a problem. Sometimes people drink, but the moment you start making it as a medicine to survive a night, then that is a problem. So you guys, I've decided to share this story because first of all, it's too personal. But again, I think it's a good thing to share so that people out there, I know they are there, a lot of them. You can learn 1, 2, 3 things out of this story and see how you can fight back. It's just a disease. It's in your head. It's in your head. You can still control it as long as you know what you're dealing with and as long as you accept that there's that problem. Guys, I'll see you next time. Take care. Please check on each and every one that you know. People are going through a lot, and some of them are even ashamed to come out and say, you know what, I'm struggling here and there, because people are so judgy and people are so scared to be judged and ashamed, that, oh, the people think I have it all. Now, if I tell them this, they'll laugh at me. Who cares? Guys, I'll see you next time. Thank you for being kind. Please subscribe, like, comment, and tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend about this channel. I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Take care.